Welcome to our call this evening. It always warms my heart when I look out and see all these faces because it's such a reminder of just that you guys are proactive with your health, and that just makes me smile. And I want to say kudos to you and thank you for sharing a little bit of your time with us this evening. You are in for a treat. We have three lovely ladies who I hold dear to my heart who are going to share their journey with us. They're going to be very transparent, share their journey of autoimmune disease. And their names are Jelaine Poirier, Karen Farrell, and Brenda Proctor, and I can't wait to hear what they have to share with us. Before we dive in, I want to just share a little bit about autoimmune disease, kind of the link between autoimmune disease, inflammation, and then nutrition, and how that those three things just flow together. And you're going to hear that come out as you hear their story. But I thought we'd take a few minutes just to kind of dive in and talk a little bit about what is, let me get my presentation pulled up here. What is autoimmune disease? And I feel like we more and more hear about it, and we're going to kind of talk a little bit about the statistics. So, Nourish to Flourish. I love that tagline, understanding the link between autoimmune disease and nutrition. And that's what we're going to kind of hone in on today. So, what is autoimmune disease? Autoimmune disease is a broad category of related diseases in which a person's immune system mistakenly attacks the tissues and the organs it was designed to protect. Normally, the body's immune system protects it by responding to invading microorganisms such as bacteria and viruses. The immune system produces antibodies, which are specific proteins that recognize and destroy the invaders. Autoimmune disease occurs when these autoantibodies attack the body's own cells, tissues, and organs. And if you look at the facts, 1 in every 5 Americans has autoimmune disease. Wow. I don't know about you, but I had no idea it was that prevalent. And more than 100 autoimmune diseases are out there. You can see just a handful there, but you're going to hear from the three ladies who are sharing their journey. You're going to hear the different autoimmune diseases that they each had. And the sad thing is, a lot of times when you get one, you begin getting multiple ones. 75% of those who have autoimmune diseases are women. And it says it's impacted 50 million Americans every day that are affected. Wow. Wow. That is alarming for sure. And so when I was thinking about it, I was about what to share tonight, and I was kind of doing some research. I was like, what is it that triggers autoimmune disease? And it used to be when you would ask that question, you would hear, well, we really don't know. And then we started hearing a little bit more about toxins as well as stress. But what really is coming to the forefront in relationship to autoimmune disease is inflammation. And when I started reading about that, it triggered me back to one of my favorite people, Dr. Richard Du Bois, who I learned so much from him down through the years. And I remember him saying every disease you can track back to either inflammation or oxidation. And so tonight, we're going to really kind of hone in on inflammation and the impact that it has on autoimmune disease. And if you look to the left, these are two just random studies that I was kind of looking at when I was looking at autoimmune disease and the causes of autoimmune disease. And the one to the left, you can see where it says recently, increasing evidences have shown that the abnormal inflammatory response is closely associated with many chronic diseases, especially in autoimmune diseases, including rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, systemic lupus, gout, diabetes. All of these are being triggered by inflammation. And so as I kind of dug deeper and deeper and saw all the connection of autoimmune disease to inflammation, my first question to myself was, how do I reduce my inflammation? Not only does inflammation tied to many diseases, and especially autoimmune disease, so I want to do my absolute best to reduce that inflammation so that if I have autoimmune disease, I want to lessen the impact. If I don't have autoimmune disease, I want to make sure I don't get it. And so as I was continuing to read, I was excited. I'm excited for you to hear these three women's story and their journey. And here's one thing that you're going to probably hear each one of them talk about, and that is a whole food concentrate called Juice Plus. So most of us, if we look into how do we reduce inflammation in our body, it's so closely tied to what we eat, what we put in our body. And when I'm sure all of them, or one of them at least, or all of them will probably talk about Juice Plus and the impact that once they added Juice Plus to their diet, the impact that it had on their autoimmune disease. And if you look at, I don't know about you, I really try hard to get as many fruits and vegetables in my body every day, but there's no way I get 40. This represents 41 different fruits, vegetables, berries, plant oils in our bodies every day. There's never been a day without Juice Plus that I've ever gotten this kind of nutrition in my body. And if you think about it, the fruit is what predominantly detoxifies our body gently. It's not some wild, detox program. This is just a gentle daily detox from the fruit that's in Juice Plus. And what was one of the triggers of autoimmune disease? Toxins. So having something like the berry blend of Juice Plus, getting that detoxing our body naturally every day. The vegetable blend there, the vegetables build our body and repair our body. And if we have any kind of health issues going on, it's doing damage to our body. So we want to repair and rebuild. Again, that's what the vegetables naturally, God made. He was very specific when he made these fruits and vegetables. The berry blend, from head to toe, your endothelia delivers the nutrition throughout your body. And the berry blend are rich in those antioxidants from those deep blues and purples from the berries and the grapes that help keep our endothelia cleaned out and pliable. And then lastly, the omegas, the Juice Plus omegas, skip the fish and go straight to all the plant properties so that, and I like to say it oils our body, it oils our brain, our heart, our joints to keep everything functioning properly. And I always love what Brenda Proctor says. She talks about the rainbow. We need the rainbow of colors because each of those fruits and vegetables do different things in our body. And so the beautiful thing about this amazing whole food concentrate, Juice Plus, is that we don't have to guess what it's going to do in our body. What we know is that it's whole food nutrition. It's fruits and vegetables, along with the plant-based omega fatty acids. And all of these plants are juiced and dried, and then these plant powders are put into capsule form. So it makes it easy for us to get this powerhouse of nutrition in our body every single day. Whether or not, I remember one time I was talking to a guy and we were talking about how many fruits and vegetables he ate. And he looked at me and he said, well, I had a peach today. And that's kind of like, that's life. We're busy and getting this rainbow of plant powders in our body every day. Juice Plus makes it easy. On top of that, what we can do is rest assured that it has been researched to the nth degree so that we know exactly what it's doing in our bodies. It's been tested on human clinical trials. It's published in peer-reviewed medical journals. It's been done ethically. It's randomized. It's double-blind. It's placebo-controlled. That's the type of research that's been done on Juice Plus. And you know what they call that? They call that the gold standard. And Juice Plus has been tested every which way you can imagine at a gold standard level. And what did these 40 plus independent peer-reviewed scientific publications on Juice Plus, what did it produce? What was the outcome? Well, number one, we know it's bioavailable. We don't have to worry about, is my body absorbing it? Because we know based on research, and we know because food, our body knows to absorb and utilize food. It supports our immune function. It provides antioxidant protection. And there we go, ding, ding, ding. It decreases biomarkers of inflammation. So the stories you're going to hear are backed by research. It's reducing that inflammation in our body. And that's something we got to be working at constantly. Juice Plus is just a great tool to help us do that. It protects our DNA from oxidation. Back to what Dr. Richard Du Bois said, oxidation and inflammation. Those are the two things we need to reduce. Improves key cognitive processes. Yes, please. Supports a healthy skin, supports dental health, cardiovascular health, lung function, metabolic health. And if you look into autoimmune diseases, that's another big trigger is that metabolic health. Reduces exercise-induced oxidation, supports gut health, another key factor in autoimmune disease, and then increases the omega-3 index. So we know what Juice Plus, that whole food plant powders, are doing in our body. And a minute ago, I said there had been 40 plus peer-reviewed studies done on Juice Plus. Actually, I think it's up to 48 now. I just pulled two. I went and pulled two of these Juice Plus studies and just looking at just the headlines, effects of fruit and vegetable-based nutraceutical on biomarkers of inflation. And then sorry, inflation, inflammation. Let me get that right. And then also it talks about just that low chronic inflammation and the impact that phytonutrients, those plant nutrients, have on our body. Powerful, powerful results of getting 40 plus fruits, vegetables, and berries into our diet every single day. So what you're going to hear right now is three individuals who chose to flood their bodies with powerful antioxidants, phytonutrients, enzymes, uh, vitamins, minerals. It's just unbelievable nutrition to really make up for the deficiency that causes that autoimmune disease. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jelaine now, and we cannot wait to hear your story, Jelaine.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeline Poirier. In 2025, I will be 66 years old. I'm proud to say that I am taking absolutely no medication. The physicians find this to be very amazing. Most people at my age are taking something. This is even more amazing when you add to it my background. You see, I was bit by a tick in 2008. I was diagnosed with tick-Lyme disease, and I was diagnosed this broke down my entire immune system and sent it spiraling out of control to the point close to dying. You see, after the bite, I developed rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, other autoimmune problems they couldn't even differentiate. degenerative joint disease, osteoporosis, spinal stenosis, even my vertebrae fractured from the pressure of my bra strap. I was on high alert for fracturing both of my hips. For this was I was so my hips, I'm sorry, from sitting. I was losing my hair and my eyelashes. I had brain fog. I couldn't find the words to complete sentences. I had sores in my mouth, lost my sense of smell and taste, suffered chest pains like I was having a heart attack. I ended up on 15 different kinds of medications, three being tier 4 medications that I was receiving injections in my spine for all my issues there. I was unable to function. I spent most of my days in bed in a big comfy chair. I would do dishes for 10 minutes and end up in a bed for 4 days sleeping. I was in so much pain from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. My toes, my feet, my ankles swelled so much I couldn't even wear shoes for years. It hurt so bad to walk on my feet, even the bottom of them were swollen. In September of 2016, I spoke very seriously to my husband about the future of my life. You see, I felt myself slipping away without much fight left. I felt my body truly waning. I needed to let him know this so that he could get emotionally prepared for the loss of me and the preparation that he would need to do. I didn't think that I would last the year. Shortly after our talk, I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the end of November 2016. It was profoundly serious. My husband was concerned this breast cancer was the vehicle that was going to usher me into eternity. The doctors told us that I would have to be taken off of all the medication to do the surgeries. This truly scared me. The doctors had convinced me that all the medications were needed to even exist at the minimal life that I did have. After getting off all the medications for a while, we went into surgery. What actually turned into 5 surgeries in 5 months. The doctors did 4 surgeries just trying to get clean margins without success, ending with my 5th surgery being a double mastectomy without a rebuild due to my autoimmune diseases. After my final surgery, I was laying in my hospital bed praying to the Lord for guidance and strength. I knew that I could not go back to any of those medications, which we are sure caused my breast cancer in the first place. What was I going to do? Suddenly, I was reminded of a friend who was living a healthy and vibrant life, growing her own food and some other things having to do with whole food. I didn't know much about what she was doing. I needed an arsenal with many weapons to change my life. If I didn't find something, life would go back to the way it was before without my breasts. You see, minus my breasts. I picked up the phone from my hospital bed and called her. I asked her if she would please come to my home the day that I would be discharged from the hospital. I wanted her to tell her about all that her family was doing to promote their health and healthy lifestyle. She agreed. And after meeting with her and learning all about what she was doing, I was convinced this was the answer to my prayers and had become my weapons arsenal to change my life. The weapons that was Juice Plus and the Tower Gardens. My new medication now would be whole, fresh, picked food streaming through my body, feeding me at my cellular level. I never added back a single medication, just whole foods, shakes, and bars. My health did not change overnight, however. One day at a time, one simple change at a time has brought me to today. My health is getting better one day at a time. Again, I will say that I am not taking any medication. Most recently, I have obtained a certification as a certified health and wellness coach, and I'm also a garden coach. Last year, there was an amazing product called Luminate, which was newly released just as I had planned to start school. This product helped to give me a calm, focused energy. I suffered from brain fog and squirreling. Taking this Luminate was a bonus I hadn't planned for. I only managed to finish this course, and not only managed to finish this course, but I got my certification and aced it. This is an accomplishment I could have never experienced if it was not for Juice Plus. I had a physical with my doctor that I went to shortly after obtaining my certification, and when the nurse did my blood pressure, she asked me what I was doing or what I had changed. My blood pressure, you see, was absolutely perfect. Then the doctor came in and said she had my blood work, and she asked me what I was doing or what had I changed. It seemed like that was the question of the day. You see, she had my blood work and it was all really good. One particular thing that stood out to her was that my cholesterol had changed in the most amazing way. My LDL and my HDL had changed by a 30-point gap between them. She was amazed at the changes. She said that if she had put somebody on medication, that even that she could, that this was best results that she could have never seen if she had put them on medication. However, you see, I'm not taking any medication. She said the proof is in the numbers, and she wanted to know more about this luminant. Just remember, inflammation is the root of all diseases. Gut health is so very important, and it is your second brain. And when you have an autoimmune disease, basically your body is attacking itself. We have forgotten the power of fresh fruits and vegetables. Eating more plant-based foods is associated with lower levels of inflammation and more gut response. Consuming an anti-inflammatory foods such as whole plants that are grown in our towers, Juice Plus whole food powders in a capsule or chewable form, fruit, berry, vegetable, and other omegas 3, 5, 6, and 7, and 9 is equated to a lower immune disease risk and fewer symptoms. I have chosen to dedicate my life to sharing Juice Plus and the Tower Gardens with the world and generations to come with our free Healthy Starts program for children. We have over 47 gold standard studies that show what Juice Plus does in the body. So don't delay. Get with the person who invited you here today and get started on your health journey. Even if you feel you are healthy, you need this as well. I am here today to tell you that Juice Plus did for me at the cellular level, saved my life. The Lord was at the helm, leading and healing with all my family and my friends' support and prayers were my wings. I rest in the prayers of those dedicated prayer warriors. I did not make any medical claims. However, this is my story, and this is how Juice Plus fresh fruits and vegetables work for me. Thank you, everyone, for joining in and listening to our journeys from extreme sickness to better health.
Karen? Karen,
Oh, you're right. I was on mute. I am so sorry. I was saying, Jelaine, our stories overlap quite a bit, and it, I'm just so thrilled, just like I'm thrilled for myself that we're back on the right track. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to share with you tonight. My story is also a health journey. Began back in 1989 when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was told that it wasn't degenerative, but my health was getting worse. Years later, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroid disease. Again, I thought I had the answer, but I continued to decline. I was then diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, irritable bowel, Raynaud's, Sjogren's, rheumatoid arthritis, and finally lupus in 2016 when I was at my worst and in bed most days. Symptomatically, I had extreme fatigue and had trouble lifting my head off the pillow. My muscles and joints were in constant pain of either stabbing, throbbing, or aching. It was like having a flu bug 24/7, only magnified. I had severe brain fog, just like Jelaine, and struggled to find my words. There was dizziness and nausea, migraines that felt like a knife coming out the top of my head, random fevers, sores on my scalp, nose, and mouth, hair loss, the telltale lupus rash on my face, and mine would blister and leak, chest pains that resembled a heart attack, abdominal issues, constant UTIs, and I was always on an antibiotic, numbness and tingling in my arms and legs, electric shocks in my face and arms. One actually knocked me out of a chair. I had edema in my legs. My fingers and feet would turn a purplish blue in the cold, and I almost never slept a full night. There were other symptoms, but you get the picture. It was pretty painful. All of this was invisible to everyone, so no one, not many, were understanding of the pain that I was in. When a dermatologist suggested that I had lupus, I then contacted my dear friend, Dr. Trin Tran, who's a rheumatologist, and she readily took me under her practice, and she confirmed the the dermatologist's diagnosis, and we began the litany of drugs to try and heal me. We tried 3 of them, one at a time. They didn't do much and had potential serious side effects. Those were in addition to the other drugs that I was already taking. Then we added the big guns, Benlysta, which is a biologic in the immunosuppressant classification of drugs. It was basically a targeted chemo. I was on monthly infusions for 12 months and then switched to the subcutaneous shots weekly for 6 months. They made me very sick. I lost a day in bed with each infusion or shot. The infusions took about 5 days to kick in, and then I felt okay for about a week and a half. Then I went downhill until my next infusion. The weekly shots stung, bruised, caused swelling, and they were so painful. I have to say that the Benlysta helped a little bit, but you know what? 50% still enough. So I got depressed. Phone stopped ringing. I know that my family and friends assumed that I was either asleep or resting, and 9 times out of 10, they would have been right. I remember distinctly on April 1st, 2018, I cried to my husband, and I'm not a whiner, but I told him that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I wanted my life to have meaning again, and that I was tired of being a financial burden. Well, from my mouth to God's ears, that very next day, I received a phone call from Dr. Tran. She asked me if I'd heard of a product called Juice Plus and wanted me to give it a try. I told her that I hadn't. When she explained that it was just fruits and vegetables in a capsule, I was on board and asked her to order it for me. I was on almost $7,000 per month in medications. What difference could Juice Plus possibly make financially? 3 days after eating Juice Plus, I didn't take a nap. And I always napped, even if I had an evening function to attend, or especially if I had an evening function to attend. Fast forward 2 weeks, I was cleaning closets and packing boxes for an upcoming move. I was like the Energizer Bunny. My husband asked me what had gotten into me, and I told him it was that Juice Plus was the only thing that was different. And to that, he said, well, keep taking it because it's working. When I reported the results to Dr. Tran, she began weaning me off my first medication. A week later, she discontinued the Benlysta because I was feeling so much better. My pain was dissipating, my energy level was high. I could use my big girl words again, and the brain fog was lifting, and other symptoms were getting in check with each passing week. In fact, at 2.5 months in, Dr. Tran ordered a lupus and Vectra panel on me. And for the first time in 30 years, my blood work was in the normal range. I was getting better and I finally had hope. 2 weeks later, my eye doctor told me that my eyes had improved. I'm sorry, at my age, eyes don't improve. 5 months after eating Juice Plus, my dentist informed me that for the first time in all the years I've been going to him, that my gums didn't bleed. So Dr. Tran then asked me if I would share Juice Plus as a business. And I gently declined and told her that I was happy to send her referrals. She asked again and told me that I had a great story to share with others. I thanked her and I still said no. In fact, I was downright stubborn. But after asking myself the question, what if Dr. Tran hadn't shared Juice Plus with me? Where would I be? When I answered that question honestly, this decision was easy. So I decided I'm going to work with a company that saved my life. And that's exactly what I do. I'm on a mission to share the healing and protective properties of Juice Plus with anyone who'll listen to me. Together with my team, one person at a time, we're making a difference in the lives of those that we love and care about. And you know what? I'm no longer sick and tired. My life does have meaning again because I'm helping people get and stay healthy while working with an amazing group of like-minded individuals with similar goals. And I'm no longer a financial burden as I'm off 9 out of 10 medications and I only see my doctors for well visits. Best of all, I'm assisting financially, and you have no idea how good that feels. My aches and pains are now a distant memory, where before they used to define me. That's why Juice Plus is my miracle, and I hope it can be yours as well. Thanks so much for allowing me to share with you. And now I'll turn it over to Brenda, who'll share her story.
Okay. Hi, I'm excited to be able to share my story with you. My Juice Plus story began 22 years ago when, as a single mom and public school teacher, uh, if you had met me then, you probably would have had no idea how sick I really was. I was struggling with many debilitating illnesses, fibromyalgia, all 18 pressure points. Every month I drove an hour to an autoimmune disease specialist who said I had one of the most inflamed bodies he had ever seen. After school, I would have to walk several miles every day, or I couldn't get up the next day. I had level 3 to 4 adrenal burnout. I suffered with chronic migraines, chronic digestive issues. I did not sleep at night because of the fibromyalgia would wake me up. I was in pain every day and had recently been diagnosed with cervical cancer. I was sick and I was scared. I was doing everything I knew to do, but I felt worse every day. But as a single mom with no plan B, I had to get up and go to work no matter how I felt. I was going to multiple doctors. I was taking 13 prescriptions and over 50 supplements a day because I was desperate to feel better, to be healthy, or at least healthier. Not long after being given the cancer diagnosis, I was introduced to Juice Plus by my brother and sister-in-law. For me, Juice Plus was just a no-brainer. Getting more high-quality fruits and vegetables in my system every day just made sense. I love fruits and vegetables, but I knew we weren't getting enough. So I added Juice Plus to what I was already taking every day. And I'll be honest with you, I really didn't expect much. But 2 weeks later, I slept through the night for the first time in 20 years. I actually woke up to the alarm clock. When it went off, I stood up straight in bed, jumped over the footboard, and stood there shaking because I didn't know what was going on. As I glanced around the room, I realized I had been sleeping. And then I realized not only was I asleep, I was dreaming. I was actually in REM sleep. It rocked me. I was rocked all day. And a couple days later, one of my first graders stepped on my foot and it hurt, but it wasn't the fibromyalgia kind of hurt where it's just fire everywhere. So I came home that night and I called my brother and I asked him to give me the number of the person that shared Juice Plus with them. And that is how I met Elaine. I called her and shared my story and I asked her, how much of this stuff can I take? And she just laughed and said, it's just food, as much as you can afford. I told her I was taking 13 prescriptions and over 50 supplements a day. She said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to advise you about the prescriptions. But she said, have you really looked into the research on the vitamins and the supplements that you're taking? Well, I thought I had. I would look up, what will be good for sleeping or what will be good to help me go to the bathroom or whatever. But I really decided that this was going to be my goal. So for the next 2 weeks after school and my walk at the park, I began researching the difference between whole food nutrition and vitamins. What I found rocked my world. I discovered that not only were most of the supplements I was taking really have no positive effect, there was nothing provable, and many of them were actually doing harm. I remember during that time, a lot of the vitamin E studies that we're doing were actually killing men. So I decided after all that to go cold turkey off of all the supplements and began taking double Juice Plus every day. I actually called my sister-in-law and asked her to come over and we cleared out 2 cabinets here, 2 cabinets down below, and the entire refrigerator full of supplements because that's where all my money was going. We put it in a big black trash bag and snuck it to Goodwill after dark, and then I worried that I killed somebody. But there were a lot of them in there that weren't even opened yet. Anyway, so my life began to improve steadily, and my health began to improve steadily. And within a year, I was off all 13 medications. At 2 years, I was cancer-free without chemo or radiation. And by the 3rd year, I no longer had any fibromyalgia symptoms. You hear about people getting over cancer, but usually fibromyalgia is a life sentence. Today, 22 years later, at 70 years old, I work out every day. I take no prescription medication. And honestly, I truly feel great every day. Even after having 2 major back surgeries in 2018 and 2019, I'm literally fused from the top of my spine all the way down, but I have no restrictions at all. And my doctor was absolutely floored with how quickly I was healing. At my 1-month checkup, he said I was 4 to 6 months ahead in terms of healing. And at my 2-month checkup, he released me. He said I was a year healed because your body knows what to do with food. I've never missed a day since in all this time, in 22 years, of flooding my body with Juice Plus capsules and omegas, and at least 1, but honestly, usually 2 complete shakes and a complete bar because I love the way I feel. I always often wonder, just like with the same question that Karen asked, what if no one had told me about Juice Plus? What would my health be like right now? Would I have been able to keep teaching until I was long enough to retire? Would I have had to go on disability like a couple of my friends? Would I even still be here? I don't know, truly. I was pretty sick. But now I'm living my dream life, working with my business on my schedule with people I love, helping others solve their problems, helping them regain and maintain their health and vitality, and helping them realize their dreams. I now have the freedom to give and the freedom to go. The Lord has used Juice Plus, the products and the business, to totally restore every part of my life. I am just suffused with gratitude. Thank you so much for listening to my story.
Wow. I don't need to say anything except wow. That's what you say when you really don't have any words. Thank you, Jelaine, Karen, and Brenda, for just being transparent, sharing your story, and just sharing the impact that whole food nutrition through Juice Plus has had on your life. So I'm going to let everyone go, but thank you for joining us. Please get back to the person who invited you. Whether it is at a minimum, if you're not taking Juice Plus, I don't know how you could have heard those stories and not start, to be honest. But maybe you too want to be sharing with other people, and we invite you. I keep referring to Dr. Du Bois, but he meant so much to me, and I remember him saying we need more boots on the ground. He was in the army, a doctor in the army, and he would say that, and we do. We need people who are willing to share the message of whole food nutrition and the power of Juice Plus. So please get back with the person who invited you. Ask if you want to stay on. We'll stop the recording and we will answer any questions at that time.